All right, cool. So, in terms of where we are in the market, in terms of Bitcoin itself, I'm looking for it to go lower from these levels, but I do think we can go higher from here. It's just my short term analysis. Let me just close all of this. Actually, hide all of these. And just get back up these levels. So currently we're trading around just in between these two weekly levels here, 40 and 30k. I'm kind of trading around the middle of this range. So just something I look at is like the middle of ranges and sort of volume as well. So I would expect some sort of cluster of volume at these levels if we look at higher time frames and volume distribution. Just see that around the middle of this range you get sort of the most of the volume compared to a little bit of less volume at the sort of extremes of the range. So I would expect some sort of, or this area here, 30 between like 38 and 32k to just be an area of where there's like ranging a lot of flipping and reversing around these levels. So we may get a push straight down to 30k, which I don't really expect, but we might see, you know, price trade towards 40k, price bounce from around 32, 33k, but just a lot of trading in this range instead of just a straight movement through. And so on the lower time frames, I think what we're seeing is on the 4 hour, we're seeing the market kind of hold a level. It's still only really a day of price action, but we're seeing this level of like 34k hold and price start to trend a little bit upwards, with sort of this level here being the resistance, this level so that just there, if I was to zoom in, and just show like this level here. So we just got price trading up back into here now. You could see price sort of do something like this where it trades back up into these levels here. We've got the 50 EMA up here, which I would expect when price gets back up to this to see some sort of sell-off, breakdown of price. That's something to watch out for as well. But in terms of where we are in the market right now, we could go either way, continuation, or just want to see a break of this sort of bullish trend market structure that's going on in the lower time frames to sort of just be broken, and then we can start thinking about lower. But right now we look like we could possibly trade a bit higher and, you know, get some optimism back in the market before we completely shit. That's that, and everything else sort of follows that rule of thinking. Ethereum most probably looks fairly similar to Bitcoin in terms of its chart. We have it trading around 2400 daily fairly bearish. We haven't had the death cross on Ethereum yet, so even though we've already had the move down, the death cross may confirm bearishness to the range low for traders. I would say we're already going to the range low, but yeah, that might just sort of kill any bullish. That signal may just kill any bullish sort of sentiment that is left there. Yeah, so that's Ethereum. Lower time frames. We haven't had. Oh wait, we have had the same sort of bullish market structure sort of starting to form on the lower time frames, and we're a bit closer to the 50 EMA here, so possibly a break above this 50 EMA could be a good entry for higher back up to 3k. Not 100% certain on that, to be fair, but what we might get is a break above and then maybe 2,800, 2,900, or we get a break above and then the market rejects it after that once people start getting bullish, and then we trade lower from there. But yeah, a good entry if you want to possibly trade against the trend is above the 50 EMA there. XRP hit my target of 60 cents. Not much to say from these levels here. We could possibly go lower, but we're at a nice strong weekly level now. So it really depends on how much lower Bitcoin has. The lower Bitcoin goes is the lower we can trade into these levels here. So I would expect if Bitcoin trades lower for us to at least reach like 40 cents around here. Between, let's draw zone. Somewhere around these levels here. That's between 45 and 35. If we break this level properly and continue lower, I would expect some sort of bounce either at these lows, because they haven't been properly probed yet. Let me get the horizontal ray out. Yeah, these lows here, and then sort of this area really. Not any particular lows in this range, but you have the support level here, you have another support level up here. Do you know what I'm saying? So somewhere around here I would expect. BNB, let's get rid of some of these lines. Similar thing with ETH, where the death cross hasn't come yet, but the move's already happened. We got the trend line break from around 440 down into 367. Haven't broken these lows yet, which would be the next sort of target I would expect for shorts going forward. And soon after that, possibly $200 is a bit extreme, but yeah, it depends on how low Bitcoin goes and what happens to the market really. How bearish are we going? In terms of what have we got? We've got total here. Total market cap is around 1.6 trillion. And I don't really look at support and resistance levels on this per se, but yeah, what's that, 1.5? Support at roughly 1.5 somewhere. If we're looking at the, I would say that's more of a clearer fit, but let's say 1.5 in terms of a zone. Somewhere around there we could see a bounce. I don't think anyone's really looking at market cap to sort of place bid orders, so I'm not too sure on that one. What I am looking at though is Bitcoin dominance and where we are from here. So what's this, the daily? So yeah, we broke above the 50 EMA and we're getting a fair bit of bullishness above it. If we break above these highs here, then I would expect the 200 EMA to be the next one to go. And if Bitcoin is selling while all of this is happening, then I'll just, yeah, it's not very good for the market in general, just because it just shows that money is flowing out rather than sort of being held in. If Bitcoin dominance stays low, then you can expect that there's alts that are holding their value. Whereas if Bitcoin dominance is going up, it just means that everything's selling off, and if Bitcoin's not going up, then it means Bitcoin's being sold as well, and money's being taken out of the ecosystem. So yeah, something to watch there. Who's in the chat? Does anyone have any coins they want looked at? No? What I do want to do is have a look at some Forex. So the pound is a good indicator of risk in the pound, and the Aussie dollar is a good indicator of risk in global markets. They're kind of like crypto, they're high risk, high beta currencies. So when global markets are doing good, they tend to do well as well. Last week, 2 weeks, the British pound hasn't had a good time against the dollar. That could possibly the dollar's had a bit of a rally as well, so that could be partly to do with it. But in terms of like the EMAs, we are sort of leaning towards a golden cross here. And on the daily, if I'm correct, you do get decent moves when there's a swing, when there's a cross in these EMAs. So we could have higher yet to go. And if the pound is trading higher, it could also be to do with interest rates. They did hike. It was only, I think it was only like 10 basis points. But you get a hike that just increases the interest differential between currencies, and that can sort of lead to a bid. So we could possibly be getting sort of a interest rate trade here instead of a trade to do with risk sentiment. But if we have a look at the Aussie dollar as well, let me get rid of all of this shit. Yeah, showing a slightly different picture on the daily, is kind of rejecting the 50 EMA, which what we would want to see is more of a break at these levels here. They are flattening though, so unless we sort of have a break of possibly these levels here, then yeah, there may be something in terms of risk sentiment that hasn't fully died yet, and maybe possibly Bitcoin could bottom along with these trading higher. I would expect all the USD charts to look fairly similar. Okay, dollar's falling against the yen. So is the pound. Euro. So just getting some yen strength here. But yeah. Maybe all the doom and gloom is not necessarily a thing yet. Have to wait and see what happens. If we get continued selling in the Aussie dollar or Aussie yen as well this week, then that would sort of confirm to me whether or not there's a bit more risk sentiment, because I don't think anyone else has sort of hiked rates. And even though it's like, I think it was only 10 basis points or even 5 basis points, but if we get a continued sell-off in the Aussie dollar compared to the pound, then that would give me more of an incentive for a sell, a continued selling, I should say. We're getting large sell-offs in stocks as well, so that's definitely not a good sign for risk. 1% move to the downside is not nice to see ever. But support here, 200 EMA there, and S&P 500 is up only, so it will find support at some level. There's the range. What percentage is this from current price? To price range, 20%, and we've already fallen like 10%. So an extra 30%. The world will go crazy if we fall another 20%, but this was COVID lockdown, so that was like 30% there. So yeah, it's not entirely unexpected, but that's a different shock to what could possibly happen. So I didn't expect another 20% to come off the price. FTSE 100. Yeah. No, JP was saying in the chat earlier that he thinks sort of hikes have been priced in. I don't think hikes have been priced in. There's a lot of downside here in a lot of these charts. even though they are up only, still possible for them to test lows. So yeah, what else? What else? Not really much. Not really much else to look at. Lulu, do you have anything that you want me to look at?
Nah, not really. You've covered the first two ones, so Bitcoin and Ethereum at the start, so I'm pretty much set. Thank you.
Alright, cool. No worries, bro. Um, yeah, man. There's not much more to say. Apart from my trades from like 38k and 36k are currently in profit. I'm just looking right now at this daily sort of range here that we haven't really traded yet, that we could trade into next week and just sort of get a bit more of a trend or a trendish shape going. I don't think we're just going to immediately continue selling. I think everyone's sort of looking towards selling right now. So possibly a bit higher to provide better exit prices. And then, you know, once we see some sort of recovery, further decline. But I do think 30k needs to be revisited. If we're looking at Fibonacci on the daily, I don't want to get the immediate low. I kind of want to get the support level to the high. We've broken completely through all of the levels, which I would expect sort of what's the word I'm looking for reversals to come from. So the first one 50%, and then these sort of 62, 70 and 79% levels after that, I would expect some sort of reaction and reversal from those. We did get a bounce at the 70, but that was short-lived. So yeah, a bit more confirmation that we should at least see 30k. And then if we're actually looking at the lows, we're looking more towards 28k. Yeah, I don't really want to be more of a pessimist than that, really. If we're talking about, you know, the most certain support level that you're gonna find is around about 20k. But yeah, let's not talk about 20k right now. That's a long way down. 20k roughly is about well, market cap definitely going under 1 trillion. I think, did we get to 1 trillion last time we get to 1 trillion last time we traded to 30k? I think we did. I think that was around about where we found support. No, it was 1.2. So yeah, all interesting stuff. I know Answers looks at market cap a lot more than the rest of us. It's a similar thing with this as well. If I just take it to the extreme low, kind of sitting at sort of what I would call the last beacon of hope in terms of support levels, on Fibonacci levels anyway. As this is also an area in it, there's an area of price where we could find support. So yeah, it's still possible that these are the lows coming in here. I'm just very, very doubtful just because of the way everything else looks. Yes, Hades, what are you saying, bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Do you have any charts that you want me to look at, bro?
With me?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm listening right now as well. Look, I was looking at Cardano,
Yeah.
because that's held quite nicely at that
Mm.
$1.90 support that it previously had. But I'm just not
Yeah.
sure what the bottom is at the moment.
Did you see the thing about Sunday swap?
Yeah, I saw the launch. I haven't seen anything else. Something else you're talking about with the launch?
Yeah, so if you stake in one of the pools, I don't know which pools it is though, but if you stake in one of the delegated pools for the thing, you'll get like a allocation of Sunday swap tokens.
Okay.
So
Is there a
yeah.
minimum?
No, there's not. But I think there's 2 billion total supply, and 5% are gonna be 5% are gonna be sort of distributed between stakers in the selected pools. So I don't think there'll be that much up for grabs.
If you're
Yeah,
holding
I think
Cardano already. Is it Cardano? I'm guessing you have to stake in it.
yeah.
Has it already started?
No, the snapshot is on the 25th, so you got to stake before the 25th, and it's any amount. I think they're saying that it is going to be proportional to how
What you put
much
in?
you stake. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair though.
Yeah. There's actually a lot. I was just looking through like because I downloaded on my browser the Uroi wallet, and I was just looking through like all of the sort of staking pools they have, and there's so much Cardano staked, man. It's
Yeah, I know.
ridiculous.
It's one of the most staked cryptos.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
And
don't
I think
know if that's because of like institutional backing, or is there certain people from the start that were just holding a lot of Cardano.
yeah, I think it's mainly wells and sort of like foundations within like the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
There will be people taking profits, like the people holding a lot, they'll be taking profits. But I think I think once you have enough of a coin and it's doing well, you don't really need to, you sell to sort of finance yourself, but you're not trying to sell everything. Possibly, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Um,
Well, what's your opinion right now on Bitcoin then? What's your thought? You think it's gonna go drop more?
yeah, I'm
I
not
think
straight
it's gonna
away.
wick down to 30 this week, but I
Yeah, I'm
don't.
not sure, bro. I'm not sure if it will wick down to 30, but I think what we might see is we might see a return. I was thinking we might see a return to like 38k, between 38 and 40k this week, and then a sell off.
Because
But
what I'm seeing right now, what I'm looking at is also the monthly chart. So monthly right now, if it closes here, for example, it'll be like a double bottom at 35k. But in the last drop, I'm basically what I'm looking at. I'm trying to compare this drop
okay, yeah.
and look at the previous drop. And if you look at the previous drop here, 1 month we had a massive drop on the monthly from basically 58k down to like 36. But this time it's taken 2 months of like half of that candle.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think we'll wick either on this month. Like, I do agree. I think we could go up to like 37, 38, come back to 35, close the monthly here next month. But I've got a feeling we might wick down to 30
yeah.
on
But
the monthly candle.
the only thing I'm thinking about is what the rest of the markets are saying as well. I don't think Bitcoin can continue going higher while the rest of the markets are having a bad time. So
It's like the
that's
Nifty,
my
innit?
only
The
thing.
Nifty is down.
Yeah, inflation is going down as well, and Bitcoin is supposed to be a hedge against inflation. So if inflation's going down, then demand for Bitcoin is also gonna suffer as well. So
Personally, I think it's just uh, a lot of hedge funds and stuff. It's just their balance sheets as well.
yeah. We're
It's
getting to the
real.
end of the month as well. So
And then they've been, yeah,
like you say, we need to see how this month closes,
yeah.
but
I think
also
this
maybe
month is
like the first
crucial
week of
candle.
next month. Yeah,
Yeah, I think this monthly the monthly candle is massive
yeah,
because if the monthly candle does close in 8 days at 35K, potentially that could be a double bottom at this
yeah.
35K range. But to be honest, gents, it might sound bad. I wouldn't even mind if Bitcoin crashes all the way down to 13,
Well, I'd, it would be a
like
nice day still.
13, 20K. I wouldn't mind if everything dropped that low.
Yeah, I think from most people's perspective, I think like a lot of people that have sort of made money or like are trading it, they wouldn't mind seeing Bitcoin drop even lower because they just want to buy back in at the lowest prices possible.
Hmm.
There's not many people that I see that are sort of scared of prices dropping any lower. I think everyone sort of learned from like earlier on in the year,
Hmm.
and knowing how unpredictable the market is sort of being a bit more safer with their risk this time.
Hmm.
So
But
yeah,
to be honest, yeah, even with me, just like you know how I started with how much, yeah, it was
yeah,
like now I look back at it, I've learned the lessons that you were trying to teach me about how stupid that was.
mm,
So now, like now, I look at risk completely different. But that's why for me, I like I wouldn't mind a bigger crash because I feel like when it comes to like risky trades, for example, there's times that you can adjust your risk. So like right
yeah,
now, for example, it's not really worth me trading. Either it's like maybe 100, £200, like maybe three, four
yeah,
pound a trade. But like when this actually at the bottom in a nice reversal, that's where there's certain times I realize you can go heavy.
yeah.
So
Like
risk is
it's
a
like
really interesting thing.
these levels here, like where we are now, sort of this area here, you're gonna get you have a higher probability for um this to be a good level to buy and price moving up higher from here than you do say if you're buying somewhere up here.
Yeah, 100%,
You see what I'm
100%,
saying? So
100%.
it's like you're saying, it's like that probability and knowing when to go
When
heavy
to go in heavy.
and when to go lighter, and either try and build or just sort of place a little bit of
And you
risk
know what
so
it is
you
as well,
got that.
Jensen? It's like
Yeah,
also knowing what I've realized is like when you see a 1 hour candle, let's say a divergence or a break of structure on a 1 hour, you
yeah,
don't go heavy into those. If you see a break of structure on the daily, those are the ones that you can go heavy on. Because
yeah,
even
yeah,
like when I've been looking at this, where the daily candle finished below uh, 40, I was going to sell. I
yeah,
plenty took that trade. You get what I mean? Because literally, I
yeah,
just took that daily candle, finished below. That's it, and that was a nice 15% I could have got. So
yeah,
knowing that now, like when I look at my risk management, I go riskier on bigger time frames. If that makes sense. So that's what I'm really excited for now is seeing that dip and seeing where that divergence is going to be, that break of structure to go in heavy long.
yeah.
But I don't know if it's
100%.
now, bro. I'm looking at the graph and I'm just like,
Well, I'm in the same mind. Like I don't know. I don't know where. Feel. I don't feel like this could be a bottom anywhere near here.
hmm
I don't know
what
why.
the issue is. What I see sometimes, yeah, what I realize, yeah, a lot a lot of times on these dips, right?
Yeah.
These dips, see on the VR, for example, indicator, right? You see there's certain zones, for example, on the daily that has low volume traded around that zone, right? For
Yeah.
example, a big one right now to me is 20K to 35K, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like sooner or later we need to go back to those prices to increase
Yeah.
that volume within trading within that price range.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't really look at what I do look at sort of mean reversion. So like where the area of sort of the most volume, but at these levels I feel like it's stupid. Just because
hmm
we traded these levels for how many years, like the volume is just going to be like always significantly higher to these
100%.
new levels here. So I'm not really looking at that, but I am looking at sort of maybe the weekly might show it a bit better. But I am sort of looking at sort of these areas here, just below here. So basically 20K up to maybe about 30K.
Yeah, that's
A
more or less what I'm saying.
return to that area here.
hmm
Yeah. And that would be it would be even better if we could sort of on the weekly trade down to like the 200 EMA and bounce from there. That would be sort of like the best possible
So like,
scenario I could think of.
yes, it's like my mind frame right now is either we get a bounce here, which in which case we've made a higher low on the
Yeah,
daily and the weekly, right, which is
yeah,
great. That means the bull run is still on. Worst case, we have to hold 29,
yeah,
30. If we break 30, then then it's obviously a bear market, isn't it? Then
yeah.
we'll see it go down to 20K and potentially even 15. No, actually not 20 probably.
Just want to see if there's anything here in terms of a channel.
Because the head and shoulder, the target for that is I think 23K.
Okay.
If
Well,
you're based on that.
this this one here, this head and shoulders from this one here to there,
Yeah, yeah.
and then yeah. Because if we're talking about this one, and then possibly if we get, imagine we get back up to 60K and trade back to these levels, people are
Uh,
gonna be,
but
people are
to
gonna be
be
crying, bro.
fair, I was looking at one thing. Let me try to find it. Do you know what the three-peak domed house is?
Nah,
If you look at that chart pattern, if you
yeah.
bring it up, you'll see it's quite crazy how perfect it is to Bitcoin right now.
Did you say free peaked domed house?
Yeah. Three peak
Yeah,
and domed house.
yeah. I see what you're saying still. So, what's the outcome? The outcome is to trade back to where? Back to the back to 30K roughly.
Basically, yeah. It's
Yeah,
a return back to 30K. But what I don't know, what I need to research is if this is that at the Three Peaks Stonehouse, then
I think you'll most probably see it clearer on the daily because I'm looking at the weekly right now.
the daily is much more of a match.
Yeah,
The only thing is that the first three peaks were much higher in Bitcoin than it was actually on this stuff.
yeah,
But we're right now in between number 27 and 28.
yeah, yeah. I would agree. So I'd say,
But I wanting to find out actually now is this
call that peak, that peak, that peak. Have this area of consolidation. Actually, I'm gonna draw that with a square or rectangle.
mm-hmm.
That there. And then this peak. Yeah, to me, that is a good match, and it's kind of playing out exactly how
What I
how
just
this.
don't know is what is step 29. I don't know if this is like an accumulation kind of, because if let's say we're really, really, really bullish on Bitcoin, if we take into account how many trillions has been printed, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah,
A lot of people are saying, like, you've got obviously the experience when you actually trading at this time, but I was basically reading something. It was like the 2013 bull market, for example, the retracement was like 95%. 2017, it was like 83%.
yeah,
So following that same like theory, this year we should have seen a 74, so it's around that percent drop.
yeah, yeah,
But what someone said was, if you take into account inflation when they released the figures, which was what was inflation like 6-7%
What at those times?
last year,
Yeah, yeah.
then could you say that last year's dip to 30K, could that have been the bear market dip?
Mm, Possibly. The only reason why I'm not sure if any of these things matter anymore is because of if
A lot of
we're
people
going
don't.
to if we're going into a bear market now, then the last two markets before had like explosive moves to the upside, which we have kind of got if you think about from sort of September, August 2020,
Mm-hmm.
from like
Yeah,
under
Bitcoin was
10k
11K.
under 10k to 60k, we've already got it.
Yeah.
If you're but then we've kind of held most of it, so I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% sure, bro.
I do agree with you. You can't really now, I think, with Bitcoin and crypto, especially Bitcoin, I think, you
Yeah,
can't
because we
go
got to
on
think as
previous
well.
data.
Like we got to think before let's say like 2020, it was really a market of individuals and small groups of people, and now you're getting sort of billion-dollar companies and trillion-dollar asset management funds coming in and sort of trying to play the game as well. So
Yeah, smart
I'm
money.
I'm not yeah, I'm not too sure about where we go in terms of
Because if
if
you look
we
at
carry on
smart
the same
money,
cycles.
but that's the thing though, if you look at smart money, right, a lot
Yeah,
of smart money came in after 20K and then after 30K.
Yeah, yeah. So realistically, these levels here, you would expect them to want to hold them.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe not
Yeah,
this level as much. I think this level is definitely people that have bought in heavy later. For example, MicroStrategy. You know, if you look at
yeah,
a lot of their purchases this year, last year, that means their average would have been around 35K, 30K now.
yeah.
So they
But
would have.
then you like I'm thinking as well, like because they're smart money as well, they'll know better when to sell, even if they were engaging at those prices.
But are
So
they allowed
how
to sell
much?
like that?
How do you mean?
Like I don't personally think him with what MicroStrategy is, would they really sell that much? Because they've got bonds and loans on this stuff. I don't think they can just sell like that.
I hear
And
you. I
legally, I'm
do
not
hear
sure
you.
because people have stocks there, right? Because their
Yeah,
model is people can buy stocks in MicroStrategy, and then therefore you're indirectly investing in Bitcoin.
yeah, like CFDs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's only one. There's only what 2 or 3 Bitcoin ETFs right now. Is MicroStrategy one of the ones that have one?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so possibly, but also you got to remember as well that they are managing people's money as well. So
Exactly.
it might not be necessary. It might be that they can buy and sell for their clients as and when they want. But then I think if you got an ETF, then possibly not as well. I'm not too sure.
Michael, I forgot his surname.
Michael
He done,
Saylor.
yeah, Sailor. He done a video yesterday with Crypto.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've watched it or not, but it'd be worth watching.
not
I'll
yet. Nah.
finish it off today.
Yeah. Nah,
Because,
not yet.
because the thing is, like, for people like him, right, there's a
Mm,
massive market dip. Obviously, people like him, they want to push Bitcoin to hundreds of thousands, if not millions, right?
yeah.
So if they really
But I'm
jump,
also thinking I know that he's not gonna necessarily be worried about price going lower than 30K
mm-hmm.
because I think they will have a sense of where sort of in terms of global markets where selling pressure could start happening. So a lot of the risk that they have on the market, I think they would have already sort of limited their risk to a certain point. And then all of these lower prices that we do visit is when they will start adding risk back in. And especially with an ETF as well, like although they are selling it to their customers and and all of that stuff as well, they can't control the price of Bitcoin as well. So it would be kind of silly for them to sort of sit in a position while they know it's going down.
Yeah, I think you're right when you said about it, depending on what holding it is. If it's the ones that's tradable, yes. If it's maybe backed by bonds and stuff, then maybe
Yeah, there. I know. If you have an ETF, I'm pretty sure that the company that produces the ETF, I think the product has to be backed by some sort of collateral on their side. So they would have to hold some sort of Bitcoin, or it would be some of their other assets that are used as collateral as well. But yeah, I don't think they would be able. I don't think it would be sensible if they weren't allowed to sell,
hmm
just because of just because it wouldn't be in their best interest to sell if they knew that
yeah, that billions
that
was there.
any sort of
Yeah.
bear market or decline in price was going to happen. Like, so yeah, I'm not too sure, man. I'm not too sure. But this is like these levels here. They're in terms of the ranges. Like for me, the range low is like 30K. The range high is around like 60, 65K. and sort of any sort of buying around here is good. It's high probability. It's not as high. It's not as high as if we got down to 20k and we could buy that support and resistance level. But in this sort of last year of price, these are as good as price any to attempt to buy.
I think right now it's a good time to start dollar cost averaging in your spot accounts.
Yeah, 100. I would agree.
For futures, I'm just waiting for something. I'm just waiting for a little bit more volume.
Yeah.
Because I thought the bounce here would have been a lot bigger.
Yeah. Because you've got to think prices already come to this level before, innit? So each bounce is going to be... And we haven't really traded fully into this level yet as well. We kind of just... it's like we just got here as well. So even like the first time we got up to 30k, the first time we got up to, where is it, 30k, somewhere around here, we pumped above, came back down and spent like a week around 30k.
Yeah.
Yo, boys.
Yo, brother.
Yo, we saying, bro?
What you saying, bro?
How you doing, bro? You okay?
Yeah, can't complain. What about yourself?
I'm good, bro. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, bro.
Alhamdulillah. I was gonna say, I wanted to touch on something as well, that we kind of don't need a dead cat bounce, because if we get a dead cat bounce, then personally I think that we'll just enter a bear market after that. We could take out the 28.5k lows. So I'm thinking that we just need to go sideways and then make a move after that. But if we get a dead cat bounce, then we could potentially,
It could
form
be
another
a
lower
scalp.
high.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Hayes was saying something maybe like 10, 15 minutes ago, basically saying that we wick down to like the lows 30 or the extreme lows at like 28k, 28.5, whatever it is, and then we close the month above 30k or above the
35 to make a
35,
double
yeah.
bottom on the monthly chart.
Is that the?
On the monthly,
Oh, that's the
monthly,
weekly.
sorry.
Yeah, go to the monthly.
Yeah, so basically take out these lows or get a buy off these levels and trade and basically come back above here. Yeah, which is what you were saying as well, bro, isn't it?
Yeah, I was saying that I just think that we should close the monthly above 34.8k. If we can do it above 34.8k, then yeah, we're nice, personally.
Okay.
Because we could get wicked down to them sort of levels, but I don't know. We'll just have to watch the space.
But we also remember when we're talking about wick down, we're also talking on a monthly. We're talking about a week potentially or 2 weeks potentially at 30k.
Yeah.
So that week is very possible on a monthly.
And one thing we haven't actually seen as well is we haven't actually seen. I was listening to CoinsKid earlier, which he actually raised a point, which obviously I look for as well, is volume confirmation. We haven't seen any volume with these big candles.
Yeah.
No, we haven't seen a capitulation volume, or do you know what I'm saying, to confirm that it's gone down for a bit.
Correct me if I'm wrong, right? But technically, when it comes to like a drop off, right? There's selling pressure when the drop originally starts, right? But then obviously that selling pressure gets lower and lower and lower and lower to a point that once you get to a certain price level, if there's not enough selling pressure, you don't need technically a lot of volume to start pushing the price back up.
Yeah, but you know what it is? The volume actually just confirms the move. Like, it confirms the direction of where it's going. So let's say, for example, you're looking for a breakout, you're going to look for volume confirmation. Because once you get volume confirmation, then at least for example, if it's a bullish pennant and then you're looking for a breakout, you're looking for the volume confirmation as well. But with the breakdown, we haven't actually seen a lot of volume on the breakdown. Like, the candles are big, yes, but we haven't actually seen the volume at the bottom, like a big spike in volume. It's actually decreasing volume.
Because that's something that I've noticed on the daily. Like, the volume's gone down compared to last year. for example. But we're
Yeah.
hitting new all-time high this year.
Wait 1 second. I did see something. I'm gonna send it to the group chat now. Actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about volume still. I don't think it's necessarily needed.
Wait, there was something that. Oh yeah, here it is.
I think it's definitely probably if you're definitely trading a breakout, the 15-minute candle. I think you can notice a different amount of volume. So I get where
Yeah,
you're coming from on the hour and 4 hours.
No, because I watched because like his TA is just obviously next level, and I watched his video earlier today, and he did actually show us in previous historic when they were confirmed. Well, when Bitcoin actually confirmed like a breakdown, it got capitulation volume, and that was like a big spike in volume. And then obviously
okay.
that just invalidates the bear market. Basically, it's just a capitulation event. And then what happens
Yeah,
is that it's a corrective phase of a bull market now, and then obviously after that, you saw price started trading higher. So we haven't actually seen, like a dead cat bounce, or we haven't seen the capitulation volume as of yet. So we may even sell off and get that, but we just have to watch the space.
yeah.
Let me send it to the group. This is something quite interesting as well, to be fair.
Jensen, you see the three-peak domed house? Is that
Yeah,
a bearish pattern, or is that more of a accumulation pattern?
I would
Do you
say it's
know?
more accumulation because it's more of the last point is a return to sort of the origin of the move. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a consolidation.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's a breakout or a bearish breakout pattern.
I'm just trying to find good information on it. I read something just a little bit earlier which said it was a bit bearish, but that could
Okay.
be, for example, when you're at the top, it could be bearish. You get what I mean? But at 30, for example, it might not be bearish.
Um. Okay, I'm just reading a short
Whoa,
article on it.
that's a crazy pump. Wow, so the three peaks should take 8 months, and the dome part takes 7 months, which I believe is quite accurate.
Yeah, the three peaks. If you count sort of the low number one, 18th of Jan to the bottom around May, that's 5 months, and then from like end of July to somewhere in Feb
Mm-hmm.
or Jan would be January, end of January would be 6 months, and then eight for sometime in February. But it says bearish, but what is supposed to be the result after the dome?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I don't understand. Because they're saying that it's something like head and shoulders, but when that happens, it's going to be a further crash.
I think, yeah. So I think it is 30K. So it's basically that 0.28, which is after the the three domed house and three peak chart pattern. Three peaks and domed house. I think it's just a return to the origin of the move.
Mm.
And then you're basically, you would want to be trading from when you spot the domed house forming.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna be selling.
Yeah, that's where you would start your
Yeah.
selling. Yeah.
Because the only thing is, though, if you look at where 1 and 2 is, right? 1
Yeah.
and
Give me
2
one
on
second.
Bitcoin is quite a lot lower.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if that has something to play with 28, or is 28 just rely on where number 10 is?
Mm. So I was looking at one with the 1 and 2 lower, but there's also one that's not that much lower. There's also
Mm-hmm.
another picture that's not that much lower. It's just kind of the same area. So yeah, I think it's also like what we were saying about is it the area between sort of 20 and 30k for price to dip into before we get a bounce. So this area here.
Yeah, because I'll just look at it like on the point, like smart money, especially when it's not trading, would they not get the price back down to there for
Yeah.
to accumulate? Because if you look at it, we literally shot from 20k to 30 within the
With
space of
no,
like
yeah.
2 weeks.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking as well. This level has not really been tested on as support. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another reason why I think people always say like 20k is still, a
Possible.
viable price for the market to trade to. It's
Because it's
very,
fair enough, because we have had bounces at 30k. You get what I mean? But we've never gone deeper in back.
yeah, yeah. It feels possible, but it feels very unrealistic at the same time.
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, if we do go down to there, that means then we'll trade between 20 and then like 24, 30 for a little while.
Yeah.
But that'll just look really fucked up.
And also you got to think as well, like 2017, we came up and pretty much from there was a bear market. We didn't go up and then come off a little bit and, make a new high and then start a bear market from there. So,
But
so
could you count, like, there's another thing, right? See, on the monthly chart, could you count this as also the potential double top? Or is there enough gap between it? Because the price difference is still maybe 3-4%.
to me, possibly, not really though.
Because there's quite a big
I mean,
difference in it.
I
yeah,
don't think it can be a double top if the second top is high and got more volume than the first top.
okay.
Then it could be a double top, right? If the other one's got more volume. If the second one's got more volume.
Yeah. Like there's this guy, I don't know if you know him, Coin's good. He's pretty good. I watch him on YouTube. And he was tweeting about it because someone said, is it a double top and we go into a bear market? But he was like, no, because he doesn't think it is, because the second one has more volume and it's also a higher price.
On my
It's
one,
definitely a new high.
Yeah.
And my thing with double tops is I always thought they were supposed to be, closer to price, if not exact, then at least within like 1% in it. So yeah, I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Because my other concern as well, I don't know how much you guys have faith in the RSI, but on the weekly we are seeing quite a big divergence.
What, from oversold?
RSI, if you look at on the weekly,
Let me just get it up.
and the price has been
It's the
going
wrong
up.
one. Which one's the indicator one? Which one?
The yellow line on yours is the moving average, I think.
Yeah, it's the moving average. You're talking about the sell-off
So if you go on the weekly,
from like overbought. So if we're looking at, we
go
were
weekly.
heavily overbought. Is it overbought or overbought in when we made the first high, and then
Second high.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've kind of
The volume's gone down
continued
from
here.
last year. That's what I remember. I was talking about the volume
Yeah.
bars as well.
But volume, as I was saying in the chat earlier, I think volume is a reduction in volume is due to central banks taking liquidity out of the markets in it. So dollars are coming out of the market. Volume is going to decrease because of that. That's partly the reason why I was thinking of continued lower prices as well.
But how can the banks control dollars in crypto?
Monetary policy.
Okay.
So if you're thinking about the big guys, like
The
the
hedge
hedge
funds,
funds
people millions.
and yeah. So they kind of work more on monetary policy, whereas for them to interact with risk markets, they need to be able to get in and get out fairly easy, which is what we call liquidity.
Okay.
The markets need to be liquid for them to sort of participate. They're more willing to participate in liquid markets than they're not in other markets. So
To be fair, what you
when
just said. So one of my friends, this person I know, his buddy works in Coinbase.
yeah
He's the head for Asia. So
yeah
I asked him to ask that guy, right? Because they got a banking background.
yeah
And then
ask him for me, please, bro.
no, I already asked him why he thought this dip was happening, and
Yeah
his reply was balance sheets of like bigger companies,
yeah
institutions.
yeah.
He said that's
So
why we see a thing at all.
that's part of liquidity as well. Like I posted a Investopedia sort of link definition, and one thing they said in that article is that you can sort of gauge liquidity by looking at balance sheets and things like that. So yeah, possibly, bro. But for me, sort of volume is a function of liquidity.
Well, I'll get what you mean.
Yeah. So if like all the central banks are looking at tightening, like I don't even know how much. I know the Bank of England raised rates recently, but I don't know how much by. I think it was a small increase, but they did raise it. I was saying earlier that an indicator for risk in the market for me is the pound and the Aussie dollar. They're known as high risk, no high beta currencies.
Okay.
And when markets are doing well, like stocks, like stock markets, indices, blah blah blah, they tend to also catch a bid. I'm not too sure why, but they do.
Okay.
And another thing that also sort of incentivizes buying in currencies as well is interest rates. So an interest rate differential. So if a central bank raises the interest rate, and that sort of what's the word? It incentivizes buying. So what we're seeing now on the pound is the pound against the dollar is sort of finding a bit of a bid. Not really, but last week or even this in the last month or so, it's found support around the 50 EMA, whereas the Aussie dollar is sort of breaking, but we might also see that it hold this level and push up higher. But for me, I was just saying earlier that a lot of these not coins, like currencies look fairly bearish on daily. I don't think I was looking so high. I'll get rid of this.
Another thing of this crash. The one other thing. So I was talking to someone. Did you see that Netflix crashed by like 30%?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he said this recent crashes is because when COVID first happened, and you had the lockdowns and things, institutions put money in to things like Netflix that we're going to have a boom during the lockdowns.
Yeah.
But he said now if you look at UK, for example, on their U-turn with COVID restrictions and everything, if the economy now opens up, all those assets that institutions put money into that went up, their subscriptions or users will now go down because things will open up. So this is like a reset, or that, let's say, the dip or the reset before the economies, the markets start opening up again.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes into that whole thing that we were talking about earlier with that this right now is a lot of the companies with their balance sheets. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
They're reorganizing their balance sheets.
Rebalancing needs to happen. Yeah.
Exactly, because if markets are going to open up, why would I have, let's say, 2% of my portfolio in Netflix? You get what I mean?
100%. But if we are looking at rebalancing, then that should only really take maybe this month, possibly. Yeah, really this month,
I think it'll be another 2
Q1, possibly Q1 at the most. But also, what you got to think about as well is I think the next Fed meeting is like the middle of next month.
Mm-hmm.
So if they in the next sort of 2 weeks, and I think it's in 3 weeks that they actually decide on whether or not they're going to push up the interest rate. If in the next 2 weeks you're sort of getting news about sort of more sort of tightening in terms of asset purchases, reduction in asset purchases, and certainty of a interest rate hike, then you'll see the dollar start to appreciate a little bit, and everything else continue to sell off, I think.
Yeah, but the dollar's getting a lot of strength, isn't it?
Not recently, you know. It has,
It has been, isn't it?
it has, but you know, the last since end of November, it's been trading lower, and last week as Bitcoin sort of started pushing higher, dropping is when we started pushing higher on the dollar.
Jensen, I don't know. Have you seen Ali's message in the Telegram? He wants you to look at AVAX.
Yeah, if you don't mind, do you mind doing?
Also, you know, with about AVAX is I had a buy. Well, I had my major support at $53, and it's literally bounced perfectly off the big dip. So it's had quite a nice little 26% pump from there.
King, did you see also like they're in the UK that they're looking to increase like restrictions? So like with they're going to tax any like purchases using crypto, any swapping crypto and shit, which could be a reason for the volume as well.
I thought they were already doing that. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Because every time I think about it, I'm just like, yo, like, how am I going to sort of figure out every sort of trade I've made and the tax I'm supposed to pay on it all? It doesn't really make any sense to me. But yeah, I have heard of it. I thought it was already just something that you were supposed to do. But also,
Oh shit.
Also, I was just thinking that if you don't take any money out, then is it really an issue? It's only when you start taking money out of your crypto that it's an issue. So
but
I was always just go on.
What if you lost money on other things, for example?
No, it's capital gains, I think.
Yeah, if it's capital, so isn't it the sum of the losses and the wins that you get profit, and then you just pay the capital gains on that.
Yeah, I don't know how using leverage works though with capital gains, but I don't know.
Yeah, because for example, for Forex, you don't have to pay capital gains, even though it's basically like it's leverage trading, isn't it? So
yeah.
So I'm not too sure how it works in that sense. But yeah. So Hades, basically what they're saying is that every trade you make, if you make profit on that trade, you're supposed to pay capital gains on it.
Well, they better pay me back for all the losses, doesn't it?
No, they just count as expenses, bro. But I don't understand how I'm doing it. I really think the way I'm gonna do it is when I do cash out anything, just pay capital gains on what I cash out. And if they have a problem with it, then I just have to deal with it at that point.
Well, you know what the best thing for you to do is when you want to sell?
Yeah, just cash.
Sell in Dubai. I think if you look at like one thing I was like clocking, a lot of crypto guys are going to Dubai. And I was finding out basically
they're just going to Dubai and spending their peas.
No, UAE want Dubai to be a capital for crypto. That's what they're planning.
Yeah.
They're gonna have very good tax laws.
Yeah.
So obviously, depending on whenever you want to cash out, man, cash out over there, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to fucking El Salvador, bro, when I cash out.
Oh, yeah,
or El Salvador still.
Bro, there's no income tax and no capital gains. You think?
Bro, I was looking. I was on Twitter today.
Just make sure you're protected out there, innit? Dubai, you should be good regardless.
Yeah, but their president is a madman.
Mate, he's
Yeah.
fucking nuts.
He's actually a crazy guy, bro.
Yeah.
I saw someone like quote tweet one of his tweets the other day, and they were just saying like he's talking about how he's buying however much millions worth of Bitcoin,
I
and
think it was 16, wasn't it? Might be
yeah,
more.
something like that. He's buying at these levels anyway,
Yeah.
and someone was saying, okay, you're putting all this money into Bitcoin, but like, what about all your homeless people? I was thinking, that's not really how it works, though, is it?
I don't think any country don't invest in their future.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, probably do a better job at running this country than fucking Boris Johnson.
yeah. I think just one person or like a group of like if you've got a country with more than 1 million people and you've got like 50 people running 1 million people, like it doesn't really make sense. Because like just imagine like how large of a company can someone run effectively by themselves,
Well,
and
let's
then
really
how many people do you need to run that company effectively, and how many people are in a company? So then when you scale that up to government, how many people do you really need to run a country?
Yeah.
well, let's really be honest here, boys. If we look
Yeah,
at blockchain technology, one of a very good application for it could be in politics and government.
yeah, that's what I
When
was
it comes
thinking. I
to
feel like
voting, credibility, holding people accountable and everything.
yeah, I feel like if everything goes well, we will see sort of blockchain implemented in like political structures going forward. It'll be good to see. Obviously, there's a lot of work that still needs to go into blockchain, but think just being able to sort of have a voting system that cannot be tampered with
Yeah, exactly. And it's
is
something that's
a
tracked.
very big
Data's
thing.
always
Yeah,
there. It can't be
yeah,
corrupted.
yeah, and
Yeah.
also
And
just
you look
the
at, sorry, go on, Karen.
yeah, and I was going to say just the ability as well to sort of source or get money directly to source instead of going through intermediaries.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing as well. But
A project, by the way, Jensen, for you guys to look
yeah,
into. I was going to buy in the pre-sale, but I didn't. It's such a shame. Castor.
mm. Casta.
Yeah,
What CASTA?
yeah. It was
Okay.
4 cents. It went up to $2. Yeah, on the
Yeah.
launch. And now it's at like 60 cents. You know, the Moon, Crypto, all these guys, it's all of them
Mm.
basically, and it's basically a payment system.
Yeah.
You know, there's this project as well, Numbers Protocol, right?
I'll be back
And
in 5 minutes, boys.
it was
Yeah.
like,
Cool.
it was a 250x, and I was in maths, so I couldn't buy. And I missed out on making 130k, and that pissed me off so much.
What, it done it in one day?
It done it in fucking 2 minutes. No, less, sorry, 10 seconds. It went from, what's that, it was 4 cents, it's Numbers Protocol, and to $10, and then dipped to like, I was trading it at $1. But yeah, you should look into it. It's got like a 12 mil market cap, and like as a long-term hold, it's backed by really good people.
Yeah. A few people have asked me to look at numbers, but I haven't really done any research on it myself.
Yeah, it's like I think it's to do with NFTs and just keeping like the owners of the NFTs and like trying to eliminate any copyright to do with them. At least
Yeah.
that's what I understand.
I think this year possibly might start seeing like projects coming about where you start seeing like the financing of NFTs as well. So instead, like right now, it's kind of like a just buy and sell market, trading, making money that way. But the next level will be to sort of be able to use them to build like finance products, whether it's like using them as collateral and borrowing against them, or or regulating prices to so the NFTs themselves can be used as currencies, things like that.
Yeah. I think also, like, if you're a business and you want to do like a crowdfunding thing with NFTs, that'd be really good. And then you could like distribute back through
Yeah,
holding or through
yeah.
like giving them back tokens.
Yeah. A good sort of podcast or thing to watch on YouTube is Up Only with Kobe and Ledger from Twitter. Because I think Kobe's like he was early Bitcoin, but I think he moved a lot of the money he earned from Bitcoin to Ethereum, and then just made like a lot more money. I'm not sure how much he's worth though. And
Yeah.
and I think Ledger is just, I think he's more of a trader. I'm not sure how much he's worth as well, but they have a lot of conversations. Like the most recent conversation they had was with Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum. But they have the one before that I watched is Tetranode, who's like an Ethereum whale, and he sort of like seeds a lot of Ethereum projects and is on like the founders with a few good projects that are coming out. I think he's had Mark Cuban on. Who else? Just a lot of traders. He had I don't know if you remember at the start of the year there was a coin called Cummies, a meme called Cummies or Cum Rocket, something like that. Had a few meme coin people on as well, but the founders of meme coins. I don't know where those meme coins are now.
Yeah.
But like good project to sort of a good podcast or sort of series on YouTube to watch to sort of get sort of more in-depth feel of what founders and people that are sort of building in blockchain feel about the market and the future of the market as well.
Yeah. Up and only, do you say it was?
No, Up Only.
Up only.
Yeah.
Right. Walked you tomorrow on the bus journey. King, how old are you?
Huh?
How
I'm
old are
52,
you?
bro. I'm 52.
Yeah, definitely, bro. I can't lie. You know when you talk about interest rates and liquidity, I just had to write a fucking economics essay on that.
Oh, you do economics, yeah?
Mate, fucking cancer subject.
Well, I wanna do a master's in economics, man. At some point, I really wanna sort of solidify my knowledge on it because I've been learning sort of through people talking, and I feel like my knowledge is good, but I don't feel like I'm able to always fully connect the dots. And also just in general as well, like I've done computer science as well, so I think computer science, like coupled with economics, it will allow me to sort of get further into, not into crypto, but like the future of economics as well.
What do you do? Wait, what do you do for A levels?
What did I do for A levels?
Yeah.
I did biology, failed it. I done biology AS. I think I got like a D. Chemistry AS. I got a C. And then computing. I done computing, maths, and compute. I think I done computing, maths, and IT. Was it computing, maths, and IT?
Were you trading back then?
Nah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I started trading in like 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest, the last maybe 3 years has been my most consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you make
And
like a living off of trading or not?
nah.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Nah. I don't think not that I don't think I ever will. It's just not the way I kind of want to live, in a sense. It's like I always want to sort of, I don't want to be sitting here trading all day. I want to be I want to be placing trades, planning trades, and then just letting them run and going about my daily life. I don't want to be sitting behind a computer sort of in the markets 24/7. That's not really what I like to do. But I think I'll definitely get to a point where it will finance large parts of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Do you trade NFTs at all, or just?
Nah. I've had a few people ask me why I don't, and it's literally because I feel like it takes enough out of me to trade like leverage and cryptocurrencies and watch these charts. Like having to watch like there's not really, I think, are there charts for NFT prices?
But there's fucking like the volume charts, and like that's about it. To be fair.
Yeah. So yeah, and plus like I'm not that great of a judge of sentiment. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't necessarily be able to go into an NFT project and just by seeing like how the Discord server and how it's being talked about on Twitter, whether or not it's a good buy or not.
Yeah.
I do have a few NFTs, but I think the most expensive NFT I have is worth like $50, and it's just like what's it called? Like a 8-bit art Mario thing done by this random guy. I think I bought it for like 15. It was a one of 25 and now it's worth 50, or the floor price is 50. And then I've got like I've got 2 others NFTs. And then the rest of the NFTs I have are just like sort of to do with play to earn games.
Yeah.
But then they're not really sort of NFTs that you would class as art in a sense.
Yeah. Do you have any trades open now or not?
Just Bitcoin shorts. And where are we in Bitcoin right now? Because I think I might get taken out soon of one of them. I've got like a
35,400.
yeah. I've got a 100x short from 30. What was it? 30. Let me just check the price. I think it's 35k.
From 35k.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's in. Oh wait, no. 35,626. 100x short. I've got a BNB short from 372, which is 50x. And then I've got a Bitcoin short from 38,755, which is like a swing trade. But yeah. So I am sort of betting short right now. I think I have a chance of losing the 2 sort of high leverage trades, because I am expecting some sort of retracement back up into these higher levels up here. Up into like, where are we? So sort of this area here between 40k and sort of 37k.
Yeah. In general, what do you think we're going to do? Go into a bear market or bounce off like 30?
I would say I always think like if we've sold off for 2 months, we're in a bear market. The definition of a bear market is I think it's a 10% decline in price. No, sorry, that's a correction. A 20% decline in price is a bear market, but I think it's over a period of like, I think it's supposed to be over a period of a few months.
Yeah.
So, I don't personally, I think we have been in a bear market or a extended correction, but I mean, yeah, price hasn't been bullish for a while, so I don't know. I don't really know what to say about us still being in a bull trend.
We have like really strong support at 28k. I think personally we bounce, like, you know what happened like in May, June, or whenever it was, where we bounce back up. I think we do that. Then if we form like a higher high, then we go into like a bull market up. But I think if we just fall back down, I think we go into a bear market down to like 19k or whatever.
Yeah. Strongest support or the level that really needs to be tested is 20k.
Yeah.
Because we haven't tested it to the upside yet. The only thing that I would say about us going to those levels is 30k or the area around 30k has been able to hold and not really make a new low in terms of the first test of this level in sort of January 2021. So if we get back down to these levels, depending on how we trade, you know, if we do take out these lows, say we trade down into like possibly below 28k and start trading back higher, we could see price go all the way back up to 60k. But if we have a major swing from below these highs and start trading lower, there's every chance that we might come all the way back down to 20k.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the way I'm thinking about everything else in terms of sort of like Forex, what the central banks are doing, stocks and all of that stuff, the way I'm thinking about it is that I think we'll either find a level and just hold it, or I don't think there's going to be any sort of shock encounters in terms of like us bouncing and then shooting straight back up. I don't really see that happening.
Yeah.
But we could just sort of have a new sort of floor price, or 30k could be the floor price, and we have a range between like 30 to like 40 or 30 and 50k for like the next 2 quarters or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I think when we're like 66k, you could see it all over social media, people like FOMOing in and shit. And whenever that happens, like, we always crash.
Yeah.
Because greed is so high. But if you look at like the fear and greed, the fear, like, at least on the weekly, is considerably less than, you know, was in May. So I don't know.
Yeah. But how is fear and greed, like, how is it calculated? Is it just in terms of what people are saying in terms of like social media and
yeah, I think it's like volume.
Night boys.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, what did you say, bro? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think whenever I click the trading view, it switches my mic off. Whenever volume is like high and we're selling off, I think that's when fear is high, and I think that's how it's calculated. At
Okay.
least that's what I think. I don't know. I've not looked into it properly.
I'm gonna have a look now. Fear and greed index. So this is the CNN Fear and Greed Index, and there's 7 factors that are used to determine its the index level. Stock price momentum, stock price strength, stock price breadth, whatever that means, put and call options, junk bond, market volatility, and safe haven. So stock price momentum is a measure of the Standard and Poor's 500 index. Is that what S&P means? Standard and Poor's? Never knew. Okay, so stock price momentum is a measure of that index versus its 125-day moving average. 125 days, what, 4 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the stock price strength is the number of stocks hitting 52-week highs versus those hitting 52-week lows on the New York Stock Exchange. Stock price breadth is analyzing the trading volumes in rising stocks against declining stocks. Put and call options are the extent to which put options lag behind call options, signifying greed or surpass them, indicating fear. Junk bond demand, gauging appetite for higher risk. Market volatility uses the Chicago Board Options Exchange volatility index, or the VIX, concentrating on 50-day moving average. And safe haven demand, the difference in returns for stocks versus treasuries. Okay, I'm gonna send this to the chat, but I think it would be, if there's a different measure for the crypto fear and greed index,
Yeah.
then yeah, I would say it would most probably work on similar things, but it would be a little bit different.
Yeah. I gotta go now, King. Thank you for the call,
Yeah,
mate.
cool. No worries, bro.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, bro. What time is it? Alright, let's call it, man. Let's call it a day. Yo, Hage, you there? Peace out.